Breaking news! What if I told you the Ravens are on the verge of making a decision that could either supercharge their offense or send shockwaves through the fan base before the regular season even begins? A move so controversial, it's already dividing opinions across the flock, and it all centers around one electric player who might be used, or misused, at the worst possible time. But before we move on, make sure you hit that like button if you're a true Ravens fan. It's always amazing to see fans of all ages supporting this team. And if you feel like it, comment, "Go Ravens," to show your purple pride. Keaton Mitchell is officially back on the field. Yes, the lightning-fast running back who stole the spotlight in the Ravens' preseason opener against the Colts has returned to practice, and that alone should have fans breathing a sigh of relief. But the plot thickens. Mitchell didn't just show flashes, he exploded in that game. We witnessed his blistering speed, his underrated strength, his sideline-to-sideline agility that left defenders grasping at air. It was the kind of performance that doesn't just turn heads, it secures roster spots. Or at least, it should. But right after that breakout performance, Mitchell was sidelined with a hamstring injury, and anyone familiar with football knows how treacherous those can be. A hamstring tweak can steal days, weeks, sometimes even a season. So while it's great news that he's back, there's an unexpected twist. John Harbaugh hinted that Mitchell could see action in the third preseason game against the Commanders. And that, right there, has fans on edge. It's not just about the risk of re-injury. It's about what Mitchell doesn't need to prove. His electric showing already made his case. Putting him out there again, especially in a meaningless preseason game, feels dangerously unnecessary. Remember what happened the last time a promising Ravens running back took the field in a preseason game against Washington? J.K. Dobbins. That devastating injury derailed his entire trajectory. Mitchell has already earned his spot. There is no kick return, no goal line carry, no extra yard he needs to gain in August to prove he belongs on this roster in September. Still, his return changes everything for this offense. He adds an element this backfield has been missing, explosive versatility. Imagine what this does for Lamar Jackson and Todd Monken's scheme. A healthy Mitchell stretches defenses in ways few other backs can. And in the AFC North, where every yard is contested and every play has playoff implications, that kind of threat is invaluable. But Mitchell wasn't the only news out of Ravens camp this week. There was also a fresh face added to the mix, cornerback Thomas Graham. His arrival couldn't have come at a better time with the secondary banged up across the board. Several defensive backs were absent from practice, including key names like Jaire Alexander, Jalen Armour-Davis, and Chidobe Awuzie. The biggest concern? Alexander hasn't practiced since August 9th. While there's no official word on a major injury, the prolonged absence is starting to raise eyebrows. It's not panic mode yet, but Ravens fans are definitely keeping an eye on it. On the special teams front, there's clarity at kicker. Tyler Loop officially won the job, ending any speculation after John Harbaugh confirmed what most of us already knew. Loop was the only kicker on the roster since John Hland was released, but the vote of confidence from Harbaugh wasn't just procedural, it's a psychological boost. Loop needs to be locked in this season, and Baltimore's doing their part to build him up mentally. Then there's the outside linebacker situation, which just took a hit. Adisa Isaac, who's been having a strong preseason, dislocated his elbow during the game against the Cowboys. That likely puts him on injured reserve to start the season, and it opens up the fifth edge spot. David Ohabo, once on the roster bubble, now sees a clear opportunity to secure his place. It's a bittersweet development. Nobody wants to benefit from a teammate's injury, but in the NFL, opportunity often comes wrapped in adversity. Now, some fans are calling for a move. The idea of bringing in a veteran like Jadeveon Clowney still lingers, especially with Isaac's injury. And it's not a bad idea. Clowney brings veteran leadership, edge-setting ability, and the kind of presence that elevates an already tough defense. But Jeff Zrebiec put it plainly, the role in question is for a fifth or sixth linebacker, not a primary starter. It's a young man slot, someone hungry for snaps, not a seasoned vet demanding them. As much as Clowney could help, the Ravens might be leaning toward letting the young guns prove their mettle. Meanwhile, the AFC North just got a whole lot more interesting. Joe Flacco, yes, that Joe Flacco is officially the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Week 2, M/T Bank Stadium, the return of the Super Bowl MVP. This isn't just nostalgia, it's warfare dressed in sentiment. Flacco in purple was poetry. Flacco in brown? That's blasphemy. And while Ravens fans will always have love for number 5, they're also ready to take him down. With love, of course. And as if that wasn't enough, another Ravens great might be resurfacing soon. Matt Judon, a Pro Bowl linebacker and fan favorite, is visiting the Miami Dolphins. That matters, because the Ravens face the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football this season. Could be a revenge game, could be a reunion. Either way, it's personal. Meanwhile, in Cincinnati, the Bengals are reportedly open to trading Trey Hendrickson. That's not just surprising, it's almost unbelievable. Hendrickson is a proven pass rusher, and this league is all about getting to the quarterback. Their asking price? A young defensive player and a 2026 first-round pick. For a 30-year-old, that's a high bar, especially this late in the offseason, when rosters are mostly set and cap space is tight. Still, the idea that Cincinnati might be shopping one of their defensive anchors is music to Baltimore ears. And that brings us back to the Ravens. Because with every shakeup around the league, their decisions carry more weight. The preseason isn't just about evaluations, it's about survival. It's about making the right calls, keeping your playmakers healthy, and positioning yourself for the grind ahead. Let's get into it. The question hanging over Owings Mills right now isn't just about strategy, it's about risk versus reward. Should Keaton Mitchell play in the final preseason game, or should he be protected at all costs until week 1? The answer might feel obvious to many fans, especially those who remember the heartbreak of watching J.K. Dobbins go down in a meaningless preseason rep. That memory alone has reshaped how Ravens fans view these August contests. But here's the twist. John Harbaugh knows all that, too. So why even consider playing Mitchell? Part of it might come down to rhythm. For young players, especially ones who missed valuable practice time with injuries, there's always that temptation to get them just a little more game speed exposure, to make sure their timing is back. Their decision-making is sharp. But with someone like Mitchell, who's already shown he's ready, it's hard to justify. Not when you already know what he brings to the table. He's not a bubble player fighting for a final roster spot. He's a weapon. And weapons don't belong in exhibition battles when the real war is about to begin. Harbaugh's statement that Mitchell got a chance to play in this week's game didn't come across as a guarantee. It felt more like coach speak, something between a nod to competitiveness and a smokescreen for opponents. Still, that comment has opened the floodgates of fan debate. Because it's not just about this one player. It's about how the Ravens handle their health heading into a season where expectations are sky high. Let's zoom out. This isn't just a roster with postseason aspirations. This is a roster built for a run. Lamar Jackson is surrounded by a strong receiving core. Zay Flowers is evolving into a serious threat. DeAndre Hopkins brings veteran savvy, and Rashad Bateman is looking healthy. Add to that a loaded tight end room, when healthy, with Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, and you've got the structure of an offense that can go punch for punch with anyone in the league. Now factor in Mitchell as a change of pace back, a slot matchup nightmare, or even a return specialist if used sparingly. He's not just a running back, he's a chess piece. Someone who can force defenses to play honest, to account for speed in every direction. With Mitchell healthy, the Ravens aren't just good, they're unpredictable. So how do you manage a player like that? You protect him. You wrap him in bubble wrap if you have to. You get him every rep he needs in practice, but you don't risk re-aggravating that hamstring against Washington's second-string defense. Not when the real prize is in September. And that's the underlying tension within this coaching staff. Balancing the need to keep your top talents sharp without overexposing them. It's easy to say sit him, but coaches also need to evaluate live reps, especially with the offense incorporating new wrinkles under Monken. But again, Mitchell isn't some fringe contributor. He's a lock, a difference maker, one who's already earned his shot. And given the injury history this team has endured at the running back position, it feels like a gamble not worth taking. And speaking of health, the secondary is giving us some early season concerns. Jaire Alexander's extended absence is no longer something fans can brush aside. August 9th was the last time he participated in a full practice. That's over a week. And while there are always nuances, off days, travel days, light walkthroughs,